Welcome class to Comm 130 Interpersonal Communication at the College of San Mateo for our fall semester of 2023. Looks like we are on a fully asynchronous course journey together. So what I want to do here is to highlight the syllabus, and then I'm going to give you a little tour of our Canvas class shell so you can get a better look and feel as to expectations and hopefully answer a lot of questions that you may have. My name is Furman Irigoyen, and my office hours are usually by arrangement. So if you need to contact me about something, please contact me through our Canvas email function. That way I can have a quicker return and clarify matters. Also, you'll find that many of the questions you have are in our class announcements. So please, when you get an alert from me regarding any announcements, please look at them. It'll make your life so much easier. As I mentioned earlier, my preferred method of communication is through my email, which is my last name, IRIGOYEN @smccd.edu. And if you go to the Canvas email, my email should automatically pop up for you if you're trying to get a hold of me. The textbook we are using is Looking Out, Looking In by Ronald Adler and Russell Proctor, the 15th edition. So it's important that you get the 15th edition. All of our quizzes and assignments and things like that are based off the 15th edition. Here you'll see our student learning outcomes, and we have 6 of them this semester. And throughout the semester, you'll be evaluated with test questions and assignments that kind of check off each of these 6. So these are really important for you to understand. As it relates to grading, I grade on a straight scale, so that means I don't have plus or minus grading. And the percentages are usually rounded down. So if you were to get like an 84.6, it's an 84. If you get an 84.2, it's an 84. And based on my final letter grades, I go from A through F with 90 to 100 as an A, 80 to 89 as a B, 70 to 79 as a C, 60 to 69 as a D, and below 59% is an F. The breakdown of our grading for this semester is 10% participation. So are you doing your assignments? Are they on time? That gets you along pretty far in this class. 20% come from your assignments, and I will have approximately 7 Comm Lab module assignments for you to do, and those will be described in greater detail later on. The biggest bulk of your grade is 70%, and that comes from quizzes. So we have chapter quizzes, and they usually combine 2 chapters together. The content for your quizzes comes directly out of the textbook. Early in the semester, you will receive a very detailed study guide for each and every chapter that we'll be covering this semester. I need you guys to know that if it's not on the study guide, it's not on the test. So I'm really trying to focus our learnings on core ideas, which will be reflected in our quizzes that also reinforce the student learning outcomes we learned about earlier. So, once you get a score for your assignment, please review your work promptly. So assignment scores not questioned within 3 days after the assignment scores have been awarded will be considered final. So for example, if we turn in an assignment September 8th and you get a score, and then you come December 8th saying, oh, I want to challenge my September 8th score because you find yourself pretty close to another grade, I'm not going back in time to look at that. Your job is 3 days after my assignments have been graded and they have been delivered to you, talk to me if you have any concerns about your grade. Here we have the class schedule. This is the overview of where and when your assignments will be due. For more specific dates, please refer to your Canvas class shell. So the way I have this thing structured is I have 3 columns. The first column is week, so we have 17 weeks. And then I have the week of, and that usually starts on Mondays. So Monday 14th, 21st, August 28th, those are all Mondays. That embodies the work week that we're in. And then here under topics, you'll see what we'll be covering. You also notice that I have things like Lab Module 1, Lab Module 2. So what that means is that during this week, you will have your first Comm Lab module assignment due. And again, the exact details of when the assignment opens and when it closes you'll find that in your Canvas class shell. You'll notice that on the week of September 4th, we will have our first set of quizzes, chapters 1 and 2. Again, the specific dates of when they're open and when they close is on our Canvas class shell. Also, bear in mind that you'll be receiving a very, very specific study guide for our entire course shortly, so please be on the lookout for that and use that to help you prepare for your quizzes. Our week 17 starts on December 4th, and during that last week we'll have a chapter 11 and 12 quiz and a lab module number 7 due. There's no cumulative final, there's none of that stuff. I think it's very difficult to ask someone to regurgitate information from 3 or 4 months prior, so that's why I try to keep the quizzes short and concise. It's easier for us to remember information that I would like you to know. Here I have a very brief description of each of our Comm Lab modules. Now, what I need you guys to understand regarding the Comm Lab modules is I'm asking you a specific question, and the content comes directly out of your textbook. So the content comes directly from your textbook. So if we were to take a look at this first module, I would like you to define self-monitoring. So I want you to go in your textbook, find self-monitoring in chapter 1, and give me the word-for-word textbook definition. I don't want your opinion of what it means or some other person's definition, because what happens is that leads to misunderstanding of words. And if you think about many of our arguments and misunderstandings, we use words, but each of the parties have different definitions as to what those words mean. And what I'm trying to develop here is a common negotiated language. That's the method behind the madness. So then, I also want you to define 3 types of noises from the transactional model. So that means in chapter 1, there's a thing called the transactional model, and there's a section there that talks about the noises. I want you to identify them, define them, and then provide your example as to how all that supports the theories we're pulling from the textbook. So the same principles apply from modules 1 through 7. You take textbook definitions, you provide examples that answer the prompt, and you should be in good shape. I do have all of my lectures recorded on my YouTube channel. You could get those links in our Canvas class shell, but you can listen to them over and over and over again, and you should have a pretty good grasp of the content of each of the chapters. Again, if you're preparing for your quizzes, take a look at the study guide and use that as your base to study your course materials. So obviously with an online course, you must have a basic computer, internet, some keyboarding skills, and you must have access to a computer with an ISP internet service provider, a web browser, camera, and district-issued email. A point I have to stress is that if you have technical issues, I am not the person to talk to. So if you've got issues with your school email, contact our district IT. If you have issues with Proctorio, you contact Proctorio directly. With academic integrity, I do not want you to cheat, so please do your own work. And there's ways of finding out. And unfortunately, I have had to incorporate the test proctoring system Proctorio in our class. When you do your quizzes, you'll be asked to log into Proctorio, and I have specific instructions that will be delivered to you on how to add Proctorio to your Google Chrome extension, and then I will have specific phone numbers and emails that you can contact them for tech support. A common error that we do experience with Proctorio is they say you need to get a code in order to take the quiz. I don't have codes. The issue usually lies in perhaps your storage availability, your camera speed on your computer, and that sort of thing. It deals with that. I don't have codes. So if they're asking you for an access code, I'm not the person to talk to. And it's your job to figure out how to use your Proctorio, how to use Canvas, and how to navigate this course. I don't offer makeup exams, and no late work will be given. So I give you guys a lot of leeway in regards to when quizzes and assignments open and when quizzes and assignments close. And if you're not able to fit that very large window, I'm sorry, but I can't help you. Our quizzes are approximately 15 questions per chapter, and there'll be multiple choice, true, false. The multiple choice, you'll be asked to select the best answer. And so if we think about multiple choice questions, it's a process of eliminating wrong answers and then choosing the one best answer. So all of our exams are closed book. Closed book. So you can't refer to friends, you can't refer to the book, you can't refer to notes. It's just you and the quiz. And if you just follow my instructions on how to be successful in this course, you shouldn't have any problems. You really shouldn't have any problems, because you could pretty much know exactly what's going to be on the quiz based on what is on the study guide. So all of your work must be typed, and any written work that you submit must be in a PDF format, and that PDF gets uploaded to the Canvas assignment. A little bit later in this video, you will see a Canvas tour and what I'm talking about regarding how to upload your work. Yeah, unfortunately, I don't have any makeup or extra credit, so there are no makeups for missed or late quizzes, exams, papers, speeches, and other class exercises. And I don't offer extra credit. I need you to do your job with the given assignments and do the best you can with your abilities there. If for whatever reason life becomes much more difficult and our class is a little too much, which I hope it's not, I really don't, it's your responsibility to drop the course. So please, if you expect your outside obligations to keep you from engaging in our class, you should probably drop the course and take it at some other time. That's part of the life process of going to college. Not everything is a smooth road, but I need you to take that responsibility and drop yourself. As I mentioned earlier, I really don't want this course to bog you down with work. I totally understand that our class is a sideshow for many of us. We have social life, family lives, work lives, other classes, so many other interests going on. I want to reinforce that I do not believe my class is the center of your universe, and I totally get it, and I don't treat it as such. So we do have a few assignments, and those few assignments I do expect full engagement and quality work, as opposed to me throwing you a lot of quantity of work. The DRC, in coordination with their office, reasonable accommodations will be provided to eligible students with disabilities. So your job, if you fall into this category, is to get your accommodation letter and send it to me via email as soon as possible. We don't do any retroactive accommodation letter. So in other words, if it's October and you get an accommodation letter and I receive it in October, we're not going back to work that we did in August and September to provide those accommodations. So please just take care of that matter, and I'm totally happy to help. Here I have their contact information. They're in Building 10, Room 120. Here's their telephone number and email, and a link to their website. So here we have a lot of support services as you get through our class. Something I want to really stress to you as we look at being college students is there are a lot of resources and support that help you get through your classes to help you earn your degree. There's a lot of people that want to help you. So here we have the Comm Study Center, and here it's in the College Center in room 220, and they can help you with perhaps assignments, recording work. It's a great resource for you. Of course, we got the library. Don't forget those guys. We have an excellent library staff, and they totally want to help you out. I would recommend that you go and introduce yourself and establish a relationship with your librarians, because they will totally help you out as you try to navigate being a college student. Here we got counseling, so I have their contact information there. And we also have personal counseling and wellness center. I have their contact information, campus location. Something I really want to stress is that life is not easy. Things happen, and in many cases, some of the things that we go through in life, there's other people who've experienced it, and they can help us get through things. And so our personal counseling and wellness center provides help for students handling crisis, stresses, personal issues. So you're not alone in this whole thing. And then finally, we have our sexual harassment policy for the district. I sure hope we do not have to dive into this matter throughout our semester. So that's an overview of our syllabus. Now I want to head over and show you our Canvas class shell, and I can kind of help you with the navigation and how things work there. So now we're going to send you over to the Canvas tour. So I'm wishing you the best of luck, and I look forward to working with you this semester. All right, so here we are at our Canvas homepage. You can see you'll have your class section and CRN and all that stuff. Again, as I mentioned earlier, I'm just using this as a template. If you're in a different section, the material, the content, everything is the same. So here you got my contact information. Again, one more time, my preferred method is the email. The email. There's also a function over here on your inbox that allows you to email me, and that's also a good way to get a hold of me. As I mentioned here, you got 24, I will probably respond back within 24 to 48 hours. And here you'll see a link to your syllabus. You can download that if you like. Over here you'll find a link to this video. So if you want to see this once again, you will be able to capture that on this link. So here, one of the things I wanted to share with you is I send out a lot of announcements that will be delivered to you, and they're important messages. I try not to communicate too much so that when I do communicate, it matters. You should be able to access these messages via your email and your messages on Canvas. On assignments, let's take a look at our assignments. So we have, in our grading, we have participation, Comm Lab modules, and quizzes, and that makes up 100% of your score. So with your 10%, your participation, you'll have a syllabus quiz, and you'll have a self-introduction. Again, all of the details are in the assignment itself. Now for our Comm Lab modules, as you can see, this takes up 20%. You will need your textbook to answer these questions. There's a bridge between your textbook content and your own personal experiences. When you read these assignments, please read the assignment and be crystal clear as to what I'm asking for. In addition, when we do our Comm Lab modules, I will need you to fill out a Google form in addition to the assignment, a Google form that's sort of a self-assessed chronicle that you did this assignment, the length of time you did this assignment, that will be sent over to our Comm Lab over in Building 10. There's really no right or wrong answer in terms of how much time it takes to do any of these assignments, okay? So just document, and it doesn't have to be 43 minutes and 22 seconds. You can say 45 minutes. Please keep in mind that when you do any of these Comm Lab module assignments, please fill out the self-assessed form for the Comm Lab, and you'll find that form with all of these assignments, so it's all in one place for you. Next is the quizzes. One of your class announcements that'll be coming out shortly will be a study guide for the entire course. And that study guide tells you exactly what I'm looking for each of your quizzes. So if it's on the quiz, it's on your study guide. Okay? If it's not on the study guide, it ain't on your quiz. So keep that in mind. All of the content for your quizzes come directly from the textbook. I do use Proctorio to proctor these exams, these quizzes, and you'll need to use Google Chrome, and you'll need to find the Google Chrome, the Proctorio extension, And when you do your quizzes, you'll go to Google Chrome and you'll access Canvas. Of course, you'll have your Proctorio extension downloaded. And for whatever reason you have any trouble, please contact Proctorio tech support. Do not contact me. I'm not tech support. Okay? I'm not tech support. Do not contact me regarding any Proctorio issue. You will find specific videos on how to download the Proctorio extension, as well as the contact information for Proctorio when you're taking your quizzes. I can't strongly stress that it's important that you get started on these quizzes when they open, so that if something does arise, you have time to work out those bugs on the technical side. So for example, like quiz number 1, it's due on September 9th at 11:59. And if you're starting this whole process at, let's say 10 o'clock just for kicks on the 9th, and you didn't download the Proctorio and there's other technical glitches, and we go past this deadline, I don't give up makeups and I don't allow extended time, so to speak, to get this assignment done. Okay, so essentially for each of these little quizzes, which I think is about 30 questions, I'm giving you 4 days to do a quiz. That's 30 questions. 4 days. That's a lot of time. But make sure you get all of that stuff squared away. Again, critical information like videos on how to download the Proctorio extension and the tech support, you will find those, okay, coming through your class announcements. So you have to be on top of that stuff. Also, I have class lecture videos for every chapter in our textbook. It's all here, gang. It's all here. So keep that in mind. You have a lot of resources right here in Canvas. Got all the lectures. Usually I have like an open date and perhaps a due date and that sort of thing. When in doubt, you can always go to my YouTube channel, and I'm sure you could find all of these lectures going around these due dates. If you just go to my YouTube channel, you will need a textbook for you to do your modules. And again, it's the 15th edition of Looking Out, Looking In. I really don't care what format it is. Probably the quickest way to get it is an electronic version, if there's one out there, or rent an electronic one, as long as it's the 15th edition. Now, grades. Click on the grades, and you are able to see how you're doing in the course. I think that's a pretty good link. So keep an eye on that stuff. Again, when you do a quiz or a lab module or an assignment, after I post them, your scores up, you got 3 days to address any concerns. After that, you're out of luck. Staying on top of what's due, when it's due, and that sort of thing is very, very, very important. So under syllabus here, come here and you'll see this really cuckoo function on Canvas where we go to syllabus and you'll see 2020. And this really threw me off when I started working with this. And so the nice folks at Canvas thought, I think it's a really good idea if we put a link all the way up here, which no one will see, that'll jump us to today. So even that jump, we're still getting around May 11th of 2022, but you will see that we have assignments that are due, and you can find that all here. You also have a calendar, which I strongly recommend that you click on that box that says your Comm 130 class, so that when your calendar pops up, you'll have those assignments. But the syllabus here, you'll know exactly what's going on, what week, that sort of thing. And for greater detail on the assignment, of course, you can click the link and you'll see how everything goes. You'll have all your quizzes. Usually they are 2 chapters at a time. The reason why I do 2 chapters at a time is because I think it's a much more manageable workload for everybody. It allows you to stay focused, and it allows you to kind of contain information in short bursts. Each of your quizzes cover 2 chapters. They're true, false, multiple choice, maybe some matching. They're 30 questions. Again, everything's on the study guide. So I think that pretty much covers everything that you'll need to know to be successful in our course. So again, if you have any questions, we can do it by email. And that'll be the best way for us to stay in contact. When in doubt, your Canvas page and this video really guide you in terms of answering a lot of questions. That is our tour. We looked at the syllabus and we looked at the Canvas, and I think that's all we've got. So good luck to you guys, and again, if you need anything, contact me by email.